Well, with the holiday season right at your doorstep, you can count on credit cards to be whipped out at lightning speed.
Whether you're shopping online or in a store, there are bad guys ready to run away with your identity.
So here's your news you can use about steps to take to avoid identity theft. Is Mike Slaugh. He is the Executive Director of Financial Crimes and Prevention at USAA, which is a financial services company.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. So we're coming up on the busy season where people are going to be whipping out those credit cards more than ever. First of all, how do we prevent being ripped off or, or having our identities stolen?
Well, the first thing you want to do is that you want to protect your personal information. So if you have a piece of paper that has your sensitive information on it lying around the house, you need to either lock that up or you need to shred it. Because a lot of times identity theft is perpetrated by people we know. After that, you want to go out and protect your online identity by securing your accounts with multi-factor authentication. That's where you take something you know, like a password, and combine it with something you have, like a mobile device, or something you are, like a fingerprint. This gives you an extra layer of protection and makes it more difficult for fraudsters to log into your accounts and steal your identity.
You know, a lot of us have smartphones now, and you're seeing at the stores there's opportunities to pay with Apple Pay, Samsung. You have to use your fingerprint. I've been told it's safer. Is it safer to pay that way?
Well, when you pay that way, you're actually securing your payment transaction with a biometric. And that adds an extra layer of security to that. So when you use that to pay at a register or something like that, it does add an extra layer of security because not only are you protecting your card information physically, but you're also protecting it with a biometric attached to it.
And Mike, you suggest checking your credit statements often. I check mine every day just to make sure that there's no fraudulent activity. That's a good idea, right?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that you can do to help detect fraud is to regularly review your statements. Make sure that those transactions that occur on your account really did occur on it. Most banks have a zero fraud liability policy. So if you notice a fraudulent charge on your account, you can go and report that, and the bank will reimburse you and make you whole as long as it's a fraudulent charge.
A lot of people are using debit cards now to, maybe not run up the credit card balance. Is it less safe? I always get nervous that the debit card is actually connected to my checking account.
Well, that's one thing you'll need to be aware of when you use a debit card, that it actually draws directly from your checking account. Now, you're under the same protections in that zero fraud liability policy that you are with a credit card, but if fraud happens on your card, then you have to go through a process, and meanwhile, while that's getting resolved, you're out the money. If you use a credit card, then that process goes a lot smoother. So using a debit card is still safe, but you'll still want to be aware that it is directly connected to your checking account.
And real quick, we only have about 30 seconds, but you recommend getting a credit report for your children as well?
Yeah, so child identity theft is on the rise. Over 1 million children had their identity stolen last year. And so it's important that you understand their credit. You get a credit report on them to make sure that if they've been a victim of identity theft, and you can actually put a freeze on their account as well, which locks their credit down, and so nobody can open an account on them until they become an adult.
Wow, that's great news. Well, thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate your time.